Hello friends, I am Dr. Mehra. I am a scientific Vastu expert. I am an interior designer, a chromatic expert, color expert, and a Sikh building syndrome expert. In these 15 years of experience in the field of Vastu science, building construction, helping and teaching unlimited students and research scholars, we have gone through a different journey and understanding of Vastu. The way we look at Vastu is absolutely different. Our perspective to look at the subject is very scientific and very proven. The subject we deal with, that is scientific Vastu, has logics, rationalities, truths, and is full of the Vedic wisdom. We've been working these 15 years to prove the science behind the subject. There is no space and no ground for fear, commercial products, superstitions, and irrational attitude. The way we look, the way we understand the subject is absolutely different. There is a scientific perspective, and I'll be sharing just one definition with you, or the way we look at the subject today. The way we understand scientific Vastu, I would rather call it a science or a study of understanding the relationship between the occupants and the building in context to the land, location, and the environment. I mean to say, what we are trying to understand is the life in the building, the life that is perpetuating in the building. Obviously, the most sensitive part in the building is us. Who's the index? Me. Who's the scale? Me. Do we have a centimetric scale? No. Inches? No. Who is telling the problem? Who has the problem? Whose life is troubled? People. Do we know the scale of people? No. It's a human scale, varying scale. The same person who says I have a problem, afterwards says it's okay. So the first and the foremost thing that I need to understand in the building is the people. That is why I said it is basically a study of relationship between the people and the building they are in context to land, location, and environment. So primarily I am talking about 5 things that I need to study, because I need to study the elementary relationship between occupant and building. And I will study these 3 factors, land, location, environment, in the context of this elementary relationship. So let me make this thing clear before we study the 5 things. When I am studying life, the origin of life comes from people. People say they have a problem. So let me understand first the people inside the building. And even before I make you understand that we need to understand people, let me make things clear that there is a relationship and people get affected by buildings. Different kind of buildings. You go to one building, you have different feel. You go to another building, you have a different feel. So you respond. You are able to differentiate very well between couple of buildings. So people get affected by buildings. Truth. So the foremost important and the most important thing that is taken into counting in scientific Vastu is people. We just don't go on a building and understand which direction has a fault and why it has a fault and how is to be corrected. Before that we understand who's there, why is there a problem, what is the root of the problem, and how to understand how to cure it. So there is an elementary requirement of understanding people. So let us understand what do we need to understand in people. The first prominent thing that we need to understand in people is their mind, their psychology, attitude, behavior, perceptions, desires, everything. Generally, when we go on site, we carry these psychoanalysis packs. Now, there are tick marks. We have a medical help. There are people who are guiding them, and the client is supposed to put a tick mark. We try to understand their mind. We try to understand who they are. For example, a client says, I have concentration problem. We know what kind of colors, we know what kind of energies can stimulate. We understand all the dynamics of improving or reviving the concentrations level naturally. Or a person's complaints of irritation, lack of efficiency, effectiveness, or whatever. So we need to understand where is the root of the problem lying. More to it, if you understand the mind of people, you will be able to help them in a very, very beautiful manner, because you are understanding the scale where the problem is originating. Second thing, other than the mind, that we need to understand is the anatomy or physiology of the occupant. That's the physical problems the occupant has. Maybe an occupant has issues, insomnia. We need to check up why is there a sleep disorder. Is the bedhead right or some other things required? The person has a backache issue. We need to understand the ergonomic, anthropometrical parameters. So, when you are able to investigate and, give value or importance to the human, then you are able to investigate in a much better manner. The third thing, which is a force beyond control, is time and destiny. If we want to understand that parameter, also then we can understand the forthcoming time. And there are various destiny sciences in India that we are equipped with, and we can understand people from different perspectives. Things that they know and control, things that they don't know and can't control. So either ways. So the first thing, when we understand scientific Vastu, is we give customized importance to people. We try and understand who they are, why do they have a problem, why does problem originate, how to solve the problem, because I need to know you more than anything else. The people, the most complexities here, minds of people. If you think you understand the client well, you're mistaken. Then the second factor that I need to understand, as I said earlier, is building. Now, when I'm looking at building, from Vastu perspective, my perspective is directions. The first thing I look at it is structure. My perspective is directions. I need to understand, is the structure load bearing, that is wall above wall, or column beam structure where we have columns and we have beams, which are modern system of designing. Because whatever be the case, the Vedic scriptures have strict guidelines of where columns can be, where pillars can be, where wall structures can be, where junctions can be. So I am conscious to understand. How and where these structural details will be placed. But my perspective is again direction that, oh no, I don't want to have this column in northeastern part of the center. Second thing I understand in building is architecture. When I say architecture, I may refer to the form, I may refer to the sloping roofs, I may refer to extensions, I may refer to main gate or the placements of room or the windows or fenestration design, but in all cases, my perspective is direction. So if I say, oh, the northeast of my building is extended, so I'm reacting to a particular kind of energy if that is extended or that's reduced, or the sloping roof or a flat roof, whatever. So basically I'm talking to the architectural details, but my perspective is directions. The third very, very prominent thing which has the high aesthetic value is interiors. Now I'm looking at the third aspect, that's interiors, and again the perspective is direction. For example, I'm talking about your bedhead, so I'm saying my bedhead is in south and I have golden reddish paint, I have a picture light, track light. So whatever I'm defining is the interiors. And my perspective is direction. So all this wall is in which direction? The southern part of the building. So I will look at the three parts of the building, structure or architecture or interiors, but wherever I am talking about, whichever aspect I am looking at is from perspective of directions. So actually if you notice, I have been talking about three aspects for a human: their psychology, their physiology and their time. Second thing is the structure, the architecture and interiors. And I am assimilating the human with the building. I am assimilating the high conscious perpetuating life with the low level conscious perpetuating life, and how this intervention takes place, how energetic dimension takes place, and why there are problems, goods and bads in life, and how can I scientifically through instruments also calculate and find out. So this elementary relationship between occupant and building is of intense value. So I need to understand the relationship between them. And second very important thing that we take care is, if there are 10 people in the family, we will talk to 10 people. From the eldest to the youngest, we will talk to everybody, and we will get the psychoanalysis pad signed and properly written from every occupant. That means every individual has a value. Every individual is important, because most important is life. Other than this intricate relationship, the third important factor in which we take into accounting in scientific Vastu is land. Obviously, it is important where you construct the building. I want to know, is my land compact, solid? Will the building stand for thousands of years? How solid and compact it is my desire to know. Technically, if the soil is not very compact, we can go for a soil bearing capacity test. This is something that we do now. But even thousands of years back, we had this system of simply evaluating and understanding the quality of soil, because the structure and the tons of load will be on the land itself, the type of soil. Yes, I want to know about land. Another very important thing I'm conscious in knowing is the nutrient capacity of the soil, the productive capacity of the soil. How much capacity it has to grow plants and trees. What is the level of nitrogen, sodium, potassium, iron, oxygen and many other nutrients in the soil, because the life governing force is land also. So yes, there have been thumb rules in Vastu which talk about detecting land, and I'm conscious I need to have good land. I need to have good occupants, optimistic, positive. I need to have good building, constructed with laws of nature. I need to have a good land. The fourth thing I am very particular about is location. What is right, left, front and back, or north, south, east and west of my house? I don't want a nala. I don't want a garbage bin. I don't want a cremation ground. I don't want anything which is negative and can affect me. Any public building, I don't want that, because there is an insecurity. Different kind of energies are flowing. I don't want a factory near me. There will be inorganic contaminants in the air. So I am conscious of location also, because these are forces which will be affecting my building and my life every moment. I am also conscious of the last factor called environment. Now there are two kinds of environment, external and internal. External environment are the climatic conditions around. The heat, the light, humidity, wind movement, pressures, all those things which are moving around. I may not have a control over it, but if I understand, I can take advantages of those forces of nature, those natural energies. So external environment is a very important factor I need to understand. Internal environment is something that we create with our own choices. Everything, the colors, the furnitures, all those paintings and everything that you choose, there is some total effect on the people. And that's the stimulative effect of environment. And that's under our control, and 70 to 80% time people spend indoors. So yes, I'm conscious of environment. So when I'm talking about scientific Vastu, I'm primarily talking about 5 things. I'm saying the essential relationship is between occupant and building. Because occupant stays in the building, let me understand them technically. So I started off with occupants. I said, I need to know them very well. I need to understand the building, because this is where the life is perpetuating. But this relationship sustains on 3 more factors, that is land, location and environment. So I need to harmonize people with the land, building, location and environment. And if I'm able to harmonize them well, I'm going to create a wonderful building where I will be living in harmony with nature. The environmental quality will be very high and I'll be enjoying my life like anything. So this is one of these perspectives of Vastu, and we'll be talking about more perspectives, scientific perspectives of subject. Thank you.